calling this meeting to order. 5 o'clock. I can't remember what date. It's January 8th, 2025. Pledge to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. May I have roll call, please?
Dr. Alquist?
Here.
Mr. Atway?
Here.
Mr. Campbell?
Here.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Here.
Mr. DeMilo?
Here.
Just wanted to point out real quick, we are having what we call our annual reorganizational meeting where we will elect officers for this coming year. I am President Pro Tem, just kind of like, you know, the even keel right now. So we are I'm going to call for the election of President of the School Board. May I have nominations, please? And that's it, we're out. No, I'm joking.
I just thought Nader's done a fabulous job, so I would feel really comfortable if he were doing that again.
I'll second that.
Any discussion by the board?
I'll just say thank you for that, and
I should ask you, do you accept the nomination, Nader?
I will accept, and I appreciate your vote of confidence.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
And now, the same for Vice President. Do I have nominations for Vice President? And again, just letting everyone know, this is just a one-year term.
I'll nominate Tracy DeCapua.
I will second.
I accept. Any discussion? May I have roll call, please?
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put this back over to Nader now.
Thank you. All right.
I'm done.
We got through that part, so now we can transition to our official meeting, which we're just sliding right into. So this is our regular scheduled meeting for the 8th. At this point, we're actually going to turn it over to Mr. Knoll, who has a special presentation.
We have a special presentation today. I'm going to ask the Phillips to come up to the mic, if they don't mind. Share some great news for the district.
First of all, thank you for your time and greatly appreciate this opportunity. Quick story, we've recently moved to Canfield. I've lived in Boardman my whole life, and when we had children, we moved out to Guilford Lake and lived out there in the sticks for a while, and was involved in the school system a little bit out there at United. And my husband and I saw some voids when we were there of things that focused mainly on the kids. So United had an up-and-coming soccer program, but they had no facilities. They had no sound tower, they had no announcements, nowhere to make tapes for the kids that maybe wanted to go on to college and that sort of thing. So we, along with we probably had 8 other community members that helped us build a sound tower and get all the equipment in and get video equipment set up so that way the kids that looked to go to college, 2 of which were mine, went on to college for soccer and softball, and have produced many amazing young men out of that program that have went on with scholarships for college and some different things. We're also involved in some other fundraising and grant writing type things with United to try to help individuals with special needs, because that's what I do for my job, was to help do some integration and get some substantial funding to help support the school system to engage them in more community integrated situations. So we recently moved to Canfield and in June, and lo and behold, I pulled in the first night there and met my neighbor, and trying to get me involved in things, which I said I wasn't going to do when I moved. I wasn't going to do anything, and he started getting me to go to some Rotary meetings, and Brian whispered to me the other day and said, "My mom wants you to be part of the Rotary, you got to go to some meetings." So during the last Rotary meeting, I got to meet 2 amazing gentlemen and 2 wonderful teachers or help with teachers for the robotics club. It was a wonderful presentation that really made me think about my husband's going to be getting a total hip replacement, and we had to watch the video on the robotics that are going to be doing that. So different ways of thinking about how important that is. A gentleman that I used to help take care of, his family is a local doctor and his dad's a local surgeon, and I helped to raise him when he was younger, went to Boardman, didn't do real well in school, but he did not have the opportunities like some of the Canfield students have. The teacher here that does the robotics club and teaches the other classes here, he didn't have that opportunity to have that engineering teacher to help support him. But he went off to Full Sail in Orlando, and now he's assistant director of marketing, I believe it is, for Adobe. So some wonderful things to kind of see an area that I'm never going to be an expert in because I'm old. And back then it was all paper and pencils, and we didn't really worry about those types of things. So to see the enthusiasm of the young kids and getting to go down to the room today and hear their ideas and see their checklist of what they have to build towards and what they're trying to do, and that expansion of the knowledge that is only going to help benefit maybe all of us in this room one day with who knows what, whether it's computer programming, whether it's designing the next, robotics for surgery, we don't know. The sky's the limit for, engineering, all of those different things. So I thought it was real important when I heard some of the things and the funding that they had and, the limitations that they might have. Because we can, yeah, compared to some of the other schools and stretching those dollars out. I know it's hard. I mean, I've sat on boards enough to know we have to make ends meet in different areas. But it was real important to me for the youth of what we're doing, only because in my field with what I do, my individuals sometimes get sectioned out. They have a disability, they don't fit in here, they don't fit in there, they don't fit in, so kind of they're hit with walls. And sometimes some typical students, they don't fit in other places. One of the things we did at United was a scholarship fund for kids that aren't going to go to college. They're going to go to trade schools, which was really important, which will be something that we'll be talking about, I'm sure, in the future, to look at those kids that want to go on to further education but just can't make it to college. So for this group here, and hearing some of the ideas for the Yellow Submarine and all of those things in the room and the designs and what their passions are and what they wanted to do and how they wanted to accomplish it, we wanted to give a $25,000 donation to the school. To say, we believe in what they're doing, we believe in what they're trying to build and create and change the world, hopefully, for positive things in many different avenues. Like I said, in our field, it's amazing when an individual can't reach a light switch, but now they can go into the bathroom by themselves and the lights come on. They can put their hands under the faucets and the water comes on, so they can be more independent. So for us, people that spend that time and design those types of things are so valuable for those that I love in my world that I wanted to be able to support them back, and hopefully there'll be some future engineers and creators out there that can make our world a better place. So that's what we'd like to do, is present Canfield Schools with the $25,000 check.
Outstanding. Wow.
If you want to get a picture right here, this is your chance. Hop in here.
Don't be shy.
You sure you get my good side?
Good side.
Okay, we need one with you in it. You can't be around. You're one of the presenters that maybe do this.
We can have Mr. Wilkerson take that picture with his phone. Take that picture. We're going to use Mr. Wilkerson. He has
And Brian, you
experience.
need to get up front, my man.
I'm usually behind the camera.
Uh-oh, JT's doing it. Look at that.
Is it on? Did you turn it on? There's 6-1, get it back. You gotta look through the eye.
What I will say to you is thank you very much, and first of all, welcome to Canfield. So we appreciate that you're here. Second of all, just thank you for your recognition and being able to be a part of the community and recognize the gap that is existing in the robotics side. We do try, like you said, to fund everything that we can to what capacity, and for you to be able to see that there is an opportunity to kind of enhance that team, we appreciate it. And to the students, we're glad you're here, and congratulations to you guys, and hopefully, I'm sure you'll use it wisely. But we really appreciate everything you've done and being integrated in the community as quickly as you have, and to recognize that. So thank you for supporting Canfield
You're welcome.
Schools.
I think that's what we all should do.
I know.
I
You
agree.
just live in a community, you should be a part of it. So,
And I would hope that this is a catalyst for more to come, but I also appreciate everybody that has in the past contributed, and this hopefully for the new year, this is a great bar to set, and hopefully it will definitely instill that catalyst.
well, thank you
Yeah.
for being elected.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, guys. We really
Thank you,
appreciate it.
thank you so,
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you. All right, well, we're going to spread some more love and appreciation. All right, so we are directing our attention to the school board. January is School Board Recognition Month, and the theme this year for OSBA is superheroes. So here's our board members, and in front of them, they have a plethora of artifacts. All of our buildings put together some nice hand-drawn and scripted letters of appreciation. So we have a whole bunch of cards from all of our schools. I believe the red bags are from our middle school folks for some things in there. From the administration, we went out and purchased a nice red rose for everybody. Also in front of you, you have a nice little gift certificate for a local restaurant as well. So we hope you will appreciate that. Mr. Vittle is going to come forward and hand out a certificate of appreciation for Mr. Ratway, our board president, Mr. Capua, our vice president. And he'll make his way down to board members, Mr. Campbell,
Thank you so much.
Dr. Alquist, and Mr. Mouse. So how about a nice round of applause for our school board members, please? Very few people know the time and the effort that it takes to be a board member. Sometimes it's a very thankless job, and it takes a lot of time and effort. You might just see them here on a Wednesday, but trust me, there's a lot more than goes on just for an hour or two long meeting once a month. So I give them a lot of stuff to read and educate themselves on from the superintendent perspective, plus attending all kinds of school functions, as many of you see them out there. A lot of our folks volunteer to coach and do some things like that as well. So on a personal note, I really appreciate all of you. Okay, with all my heart, I really do. You make this job as superintendent a lot easier than it could be at times. So greatly appreciate all of our board members and their service to Canfield, which is always number one. Any day now, you're hopefully going to get our Cardinal communique coming to your mailbox. I believe it was mailed out on Monday or Tuesday, so hopefully you're going to get that. Message from yours truly, the treasurer, Mr. Vittle, all of our building principals, transportation, food service. We just kind of gave you a little snapshot about where we're at after the first part of the semester. I love doing this because this is all good, positive stuff. Okay, we have a lot of fun, a lot of great pictures. So hopefully any day now you're going to see this popping up on your mailbox. All right, big game on Friday. All right, so we're going to give some love to Ohio State. I'm going to proclaim Friday to be Ohio State Day across the district. I'll send out a text to everybody so you don't forget to do that. But show your school spirit, Cardinals. Just get the Buckeyes all fired up for Friday night. Now, with the game being Friday night, we had to make a little change to our basketball game on Friday. Okay, so we're going to start the boys basketball game Friday at 4:30. And this is another one of my favorite events that we do here in Canfield. It's our military appreciation night. So we're going to start the JV game at 4:30. As soon as that game's over, so I'm planning on about 5:30 or so, we're going to have a brief ceremony to honor all of our military personnel from both schools. Our pep band will be there. Helping out, our choir will sing the national anthem. And something for the first time that I'm extremely proud of, and this is with our students with special abilities. I know our folks from Turning Point have the same heart as I do, because I have a son with special abilities. We're going to have some special cheerleaders that evening. At the varsity halftime, they are called the Cardinal Sparkle Cheer. And they are going to be individuals with special needs. And they're going to be out there and do a nice cheer. So you want to come and see that. That'll be at halftime at the varsity. And of course, it's camo dress day, all right, for that night. So come out, enjoy the ball game, and enjoy some good fellowship, and give us a good opportunity to honor our military personnel from both districts on Friday night. All right. And as always, Canfield, we are stronger together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Knoll. Appreciate it. Next up, we have our introduction for our Rotary Students of the Month, and I think we are going with Dr. Potts first.
We got a couple here.
Yeah.
I think we mean.
Good evening, I'm Mark Potts, principal at Canfield High School. Before I start, I just wanted to thank the board for all that you do in serving the school district and the community, and just I know your dedication is greatly appreciated, so thank you for that. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Kathy and John for that generous donation. The team was very excited about things they wanted to do this year, and we're hoping to raise enough money, and you just made that possible, so thank you. Thank you. This evening, Canfield High School is proud to introduce Lauren Smallwood as our January 2025 CHS Rotary Club Student of the Month. Lauren is a senior. Yeah, come on up, Lauren. Sorry. Lauren is a senior and a member of NHS, Interact Club, and the band where she served as section leader, and the junior and senior drum major. Outside of school, Lauren has represented CHS at Girls State last summer, and she has the distinction of being the longest serving altar server at St. Michael's, having served since 4th grade. Lauren has been described as, by her counselors and teachers, as sharp, witty, hardworking, focused, humorous, and confident, but extremely humble. Did you have a final decision on college yet? Okay. Oh, you threw me off. All right, that's good. All right. So I thought she was going to one of her parents' alma maters. I thought she was going to go either OU or John Carroll, but apparently it's Ohio State's the winner. So that's good. That's good.
Just checking there, just
Her
checking.
siblings.
And I think she still plans to major in finance or accounting and possibly go to law school down the road. So it's my pleasure to present Lauren Smallwood as the Canfield High School Rotary Club Student of the Month.
Congratulations, Lauren, to the Smallwood family. Congrats. Mr. Flood.
Oh, yeah, there he goes.
Good evening, Michael Flood, principal of Hilltop Elementary. And first thing, I have Addison Camel here, and I called Matt early on today, and I told him, hey, he's a great guy, but this has nothing to do with him being on the board. Addison's such a sweetheart, goes over and beyond her, expectation at school, and she's always working hard and trying her best. She's well behaved and is a leader at the school and respected by peers. Addie has a fun personality and it's great to be around. One of her favorite subjects is science. Has a mom who's in education, dad in education, brother Matt, and a sister Emma, who probably attends the greatest university of all time, in Notre Dame. So, I had to give that out there. Addison, when she grows up, she wants to actually follow in her sister's footsteps and go to Notre Dame, and actually wants to become a doctor. And some fun things she likes to do is dance and play softball. So she's just such a great girl. We've seen her come out of her shell last couple years and do wonderful things at Hilltop. So congratulations.
Congratulations to Addie and to the Campbell family.
Look behind you.
Look, Mom wants to take a picture, Addie. Get back. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I know our 8th grade student has a conflict with basketball and is going to be recognized next month. And then due to timing of this meeting kind of moving earlier than usual, I think there was just a communication challenge. So if our 4th grade comes in, we'll make it work, but if not, no worries. We'll always defer to next month. And then just I know we have students that have class, so if this is a good time, if you wanted to leave, you don't have to stay for the riveting agenda, but you're more than welcome to depart if you'd like
It's
to
okay.
as well.
Go ahead.
But yeah, we won't be offended. No
Have a
problem.
good night.
Thank you again. We appreciate
Yes,
it.
and have a good evening.
All right. Next up, I will move to our superintendent who has some resolutions.
Okay, so I'd like to recommend the following resolutions. Number one, to give authority to superintendent to carry out policies as adopted by the Board of Education, to establish the second Wednesday of each month at 6 p.m. for regular meetings of the Board of Education in the Canfield High School Auditorium at 100 Cardinal Drive, and also to set the Board of Education Service Fund at $5,000, to designate the Vindicator as the district's official newspaper, and to waive the reading of the record of proceedings of each meeting, to use Robert's Rules of Order in the absence of board policy, and to authorize the treasurer to pay bills within the adopted appropriations, all those as presented.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the resolutions as presented in items 1 through 7?
So moved, Demilo.
Second, Campbell.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. All right, next up, it's to appoint our liaisons for 2025, as well as our committee member selections. My recommendation would be, just because we had new members and it's only been about a year in role, to just kind of replicate and duplicate everything we've had from a liaison perspective, as well as the committee member selections for.
Can you go over those again, please?
So I think the legislative liaison was Dr. Alquist.
Yep.
I think our student achievement liaison was Mr. DeMilo. And then if we looked at committee member selections, I think finance was Mrs. DeCapua, as well as myself. I was going to say Mr. Atway. Curriculum was, I think, somebody has to remind me.
Mr. Campbell.
Mr. Campbell.
And Mr. DeMilo.
And Mr. DeMilo. And then building and grounds was Dr. Alquist, as well as myself. Policy was Mrs. DeCapua, as well as Dr. Alquist. And then extracurricular was Mr. DeMilo and then Mr. Campbell. Does that sound good to everybody?
Yeah, did a good job.
All right, so we will keep those assignments as is. Thank you again. All right, next up, presentation of the minutes for our regular special meeting, as well as a special meeting of the 31st of December. We had those in advance. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved, DeCapua?
Second, Alquist.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. And next, we have our treasurer's reports. So I will defer to you, Ms. Prince.
Okay, I'd like to go over the cash summary report, and this is as of the end of October. You'll notice the fund balance, the general fund balance is a healthy balance, as we just received our settlement and rollback and homestead, so that's included in there for the second half of December. So that's why that balance is that high. The check payment register, nothing really unusual, but I'd just like to point out, as I do a couple times during the year, some reoccurring expenses. On the third page, Truck World for $19,000. This is each load of fuel, 7,500 gallons load of fuel that we get. That's about what the cost is. And down toward the bottom of the page, Mahoning County School Employee Insurance Consortium, you can see $364,000. This is our monthly tab for healthcare. So that's medical, dental, and vision for all employees of the district that have coverage. The purchase order register, the new items that you haven't seen yet start on page 17. I didn't really have any ones to comment specifically unless you have questions. And then the investment holdings. This was the last month that we received over $100,000 in interest in the sweep account, as the rates are going down. So that's a little disappointing, but it's been a nice run.
It has
It
been.
has been a nice run.
And you can see the rates are a little less than they have been, but still above 5% as of October 31st, so.
My only question was going to go back to the healthcare. Do we have any idea as to what that increased cost is going to look like for 2025 or no?
What is?
Will we
Increase
be
for-
contributing, will we be paying, I'm sure costs will go up in 2025, or does the consortium not do calendar year?
Yeah,
Is
the
it academic year?
consortium
Yeah, we will.
changes rates every July 1st, is
Yeah,
that
for
what you're
July
referring
1st.
to?
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was January.
Yeah.
Okay. It's July 1st.
So they have
okay.
not made a determination.
I was thinking it's January. All right, thank you. All right. If there's no other questions, can I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved. Campbell.
Second, Mauer.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes,
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. Next up, we have public participation. We do have a couple people that are signed up. Just from a protocol in regards to how we operate in the school board, to come up, state your name and address for the record, and then you do get 3 minutes. That is yours, and then after that, we would ask you to shut it down, wrap it up. So I think first up, Mr. Kincaid. No, it starts, the time does not start when you start walking. It's once you finished your address, the time will start.
it's when you open your mouth.
All right, go. Brad Kincaid, 185 Willow Bend Drive, Canfield, Ohio. Thank you all today for allowing me the opportunity to speak. Before I begin, I'd like to give some definitions of some words in very simple terms, but they're going to have very, very important meaning later on. Several. It's a determiner, a pronoun, more than 2 but not many, typically less than 10. Generally, it's an adverb. It means in most cases, usually. Historic, of or concerning history, concerning past events. In July 2024, a spill was reported to the Iowa EPA. Emergency respondents arrived on scene to control the leak. Over the course of the next 5 months, as a result of the investigation, they unearthed a greater problem of contamination, in which the Ohio EPA, in their director's findings of final orders of 12/31/24, and I quote, presumably from historic releases. And these contaminants are, but not limited to, arsenic, barium, mercury, lead, cyanide, and hexavalent chromium. These are all tested as reported by August Mack in their report JY 230.372. In addition, the same report noted that these contaminants extended to the west side of the ditch, the wetlands, traveled to the east side of the path, where the contaminants followed Sawmill Creek, past the high school, Briarcliff, and was on the east side of Cardinal Drive. Again, all public record. In addition, sampling of this east side of the path showed contamination around the MSC facility, including CR6. This is extremely concerning because the contamination has not followed just the ditch or the creek bed. Per the Ohio EPA DFFO, indicates that a release of hazardous waste had occurred and still may be occurring from plating operations to the facility. In the same document with regards to current containment procedures which they have implemented, generally this plan will capture and contain ongoing releases. I'd like to reference the original word, generally. Adverb meaning in most cases or usually. There is no guarantee. They haven't found it and they can't guarantee that it's stopped. I'd like to take a step back for a minute, remind everyone of the proposed Redgate Farm for the new school. I'm not bringing this up to open up old wounds, anything like that. There was a fear of a gas supply line by our school, sparked a fierce debate regarding the safety and well-being of our students from the potential hazard of that supply line. I personally don't care what side of the debate you were on. Doesn't matter to me. What I'm after is the passion that everybody brought forth because they were afraid for the well-being of our students. How am I doing on time? I got one more page.
You got a minute.
Okay.
30
good.
seconds, sorry. 30.
People brought when faced with potential. Well, folks, it's not a potential. You have a plating operation that was built in the 50s, bought and sold, and now currently owned by a private equity firm in Chicago. The company uses type 1 carcinogens in the process. A cyanide spill in the 2000s resulted in a leak from a leaky pipe that caused pooling around a drum of acid, forced through evacuation of this high school basketball game from first responders in the hazmat suits, and then extended the shelter in place in Briarwood Court. The Ohio EPA, in their own admission, from February 15th, 1984 through September 1st, 2022, conducted several hazardous waste inspections at this facility. Once again, several. More than 2, less than 10 in 40 years. I know we're all done, so all I'm simply saying is we need to take control of the narrative. This story isn't unicorns and rainbows. This story, again, as the EPA, and I quote, constitutes a substantial threat to the public health.
Thank you, Mr. Kincaid. Mr. Neff.
Good evening, Bruce Neff, 68 West Main Street. I was the first class in 1967 to graduate from the new school and lived away from Canfield for many years. In the past decade, I've served on Canfield Council, and I want to personally thank Brad and all the people that have put in an effort into bringing this information to the forefront, because I think the city first thought that the Ohio EPA is going to handle this, and I think that public government is responsible for the safety of its citizens, so we have a huge part in this. I've personally contacted over 30, maybe even 40 people in all different admins from different companies that could be involved in getting us more material. And I want to thank the school for giving us the auditorium to have a public meeting about this in another month. So I think the first Monday in February, we're going to have a public meeting just to bring out information. And I hope there's enough that is going to be solid information that we can present to give people enough information, that we're working on this. I think it's going to be a very long-term project, and I want to thank everybody for their due diligence in getting the facts out. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Neff. All I will say is I appreciate your passion, both of you, in speaking on this behalf, but I don't want to put Mr. Knoll on the spot, but I would say that you have been in communication with key individuals to make sure that we're up to date.
Yeah, I've actually talked to Mr. Neff a few times. We've had some conversations, and there's really about 3 or 4 big players involved. August Mack is the environmental cleanup group, and they have an attorney and a PR firm. So I've reached out to them just to, keep the school in the loop as well. And honestly, they've been very good and very communicative with us, which has been nice. So, but we'll always willing to open up the doors for the community and the folks to come in for, I think it was February 3rd, I think is that Monday for that meeting.
Thank you. All right. Next up is our new business.
Okay, so we'll start with some personnel. Under hiring of license, we have Brittany John, Hilltop Intervention Tutor, effective January 6th of 2025, at 7 hours a day at $21.06 an hour. In hiring under classified, Tiffany Menger, the CHS new head cook, effective January 13 of 2025, 7 hours a day at $19.31 an hour. We have some classified subs to approve. We have Andrew Pahanis and Cassandra Ripple. And under some resignations, under licensed daily sub, we have Alexis Crowgy, a Hilltop, effective January 8th of 2025. And hiring of a licensed daily sub will be Brianna Valentini, a Hilltop, effective January 9th of 2025 at $120 a day. And then finally, the hiring of our extracurriculars as per attached in resolution number 54-2025. So all those as presented.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion to approve the personnel hirings and resignation as presented in items 1A through F?
So moved. DeCapua?
Second, Demislo.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
And I'd like to recommend adopting resolution number 55-2025, which is the OSBA Legal Assistance Fund. That was Exhibit 7.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion adopting resolution 55-2025 for our OSBA Legal Assistance Fund?
So moved. Campbell?
Second, Alquist.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes.
And I'd like to recommend adopting our policies as a second reading, and those are all found in Exhibit number 8.
Based on the recommendation of the superintendent, can I have a motion adopting our policies in our second reading as presented in Exhibit 8?
So moved, Alquist.
Second. Campbell?
Any other discussion?
Any changes to anything? That was just a review, second review.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's, just the same as we did last time. Just bless them the second time, make them official.
Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. And finally, our donations as presented in Exhibit 9. Do you have them?
I have them.
Go ahead.
For January, I should say, I'm sorry, January 2025, Canfield Rotary donated $230 to the Interact Club. David Bisignani, $20 to the CHS Craft Show. Reggie Reynolds, $40 to the CHS Craft Show. Mark Davis, $500 to the Kate Farragher Memorial Trust Fund for the Arts. Patricia DeRosa, $1,000 to the Cardinal's Nest. Canfield PTA, $319.96, light vac units at Hilltop. Johnson & Johnson Attorneys at Law, $250 to the Jets Club Robotics. IES Systems, $1,000 to the Jet Club Robotics programs. Brian and Taylor Cowles, $50 to maintenance, with a total cash donations for the month, $3,409.96.
Do you want to add that
I was
Turning
going to say,
Point
do we
residential?
make the addendum?
And you know what, and we will make an addendum to this, to the Turning Point. We thank and add Turning Point, what is the full?
Turning Point Residential.
Turning Point Residential, $25,000 to the Robotics Club, which
Can you
brings
do that
that
math?
$28,000, $409.96.
Nice.
You miss a beat.
Substitute teacher.
There it is. Again, thank you to all for their donations. Can I get a motion to accept our donations as presented with the addendum as well?
So moved, Demislo.
Second, Alquist.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Alquist?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mrs. DeCapua?
Yes.
Mr. DeMilo?
Yes.
Mr. Atway?
Yes. And based on the fact that it's a new year, this meeting is gotten no other stuff, so we can have a motion.
Let's talk about Mr. Lowry. Got any update?
The Sully family is on their way. They should be here momentarily.
Okay.
Well, then, we're going to go ahead and extend this a little bit, because I think it's only fair for, so,
But you all may.
but you're more than welcome to leave if you'd like, but we're going to, because we had one student Rotary, like I said, there was a little bit of a miscommunication where typically the meetings start at 6, and then for this month, we had to adjust our meeting time to 5, so we want, if they're on their way, to make sure that they have that chance. So, you know, we could do something different, and JT, since you're usually our regular attendee, would you like to sing or do anything with comedy at the front of the group? You want to?
Probably not.
Not today.
Not this time.
You can completely rule it out, you just don't want to do it right now.
When they come in, we'll.
Yeah, so when they,
we'll grab 'em.
are you guys good with holding on for a few minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. On a side note, as I'm reading the news, I see there's a lot of lottery winners locally that have been cashing out on some wins, so kudos to all those lottery winners. If the Phillips family have inspired you to do anything with that lottery win, we are more than welcome to take donations like Turning Point.
You're good at this.
And I would like to say thank you for all these lovely cards. Believe it or not, we go home, we read them, then we trade them, and we read those and trade those, and then for those gifts, we do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I have some of mine hanging in my office, so thank you very much from all of our students and staff.
Yes, and the middle school even did a little Stronger Together, which is our theme, and there was a nice little artwork in there, so it's cool. And so I see that we can resume our Student Rotary of the Month, and so we're going to go to Mr. Lavery with his presentation.
And we apologize to the family. We apologize
Thank
for the
you for being here,
miscommunication.
yes.
Thank you so much. My name's Travis Laver. I'm the principal at C.H. Campbell Elementary School here in Canfield. And I have to say, we are so honored to have Max and Solly with us today as our Rotary Student of the Month. Mac was nominated by his teacher, Mrs. Benson, who also is here in attendance. And she had a lot of great things to say about him. She said that Mac is one of the hardest working students that she's had the privilege of working with. He has a true love of learning. And this especially comes through in the area of mathematics. Canfield started participating in a Challenge 24 tournament called First in Math, and it is a national competition that we started working with last year. Within one day of having First in Math for all of our students, Matt quickly shot straight to the top of the leaderboards as the top kid in 4th grade at C.H. Campbell, as well as Hilltop, and has been pushing to help us drive into the top 10 of the state of Ohio for how the kids are doing with that program. I can attest to this personally, as my daughter was checking in the leaderboards and trying to catch him feverishly, but to no avail. So I absolutely saw how hard he was working day in and day out on that. Mac is always kind to others, and he is a humble student. You would never hear any of this come out of his mouth, and that just speaks to his character and the type of person that he is. He's not going to brag, so we're going to do it for him. So Mac has a sister, a mom, and dad who are here in attendance, as well as a dog that is not in attendance today. And he is hoping to one day be an NBA player, loves playing basketball, and playing on his PS5 when he can. So we are so honored to have Mac as our Rotary Student of the Month. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mac, and to the Solly family. Appreciate it. And thank you for making it, and sorry for that.
And thank you, Mrs. Benson, for running in.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
No, we put a little bit of a change up, so we appreciate you guys for your adjustments. All right, well, we saved the best for last, Mac. We got you.
There you go.
You were the last thing on our agenda, man.
You're going to take us out of our meeting.
Yes, so with that, can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it.